Could you actually retire in 10 years? Or is that just something people say right before they buy a course online? Because the math is real, the strategies exist, and we're about to find out if your savings rate is a retirement plan or a retirement joke. Let's say you're putting away $500 a month right now. That's not nothing, but it's also not a ticket to a beach house in a decade. The brutal truth is that 10-year retirement isn't about luck. It's about the gap between what you earn, what you spend, and how aggressively you close that gap every single month. Here's the engine under the hood. Compound growth, tax-advantaged accounts, and a withdrawal strategy that doesn't implode the moment markets sneeze. Think of your portfolio like a garden. You don't harvest everything at once. You tend it, you time it, and you definitely don't let panic rip out the roots. A few years ago, the FIRE movement, Financial Independence Retire Early, had everyone calculating their number like it was a cheat code for adulthood. Then inflation showed up, interest rates spiked, and suddenly retiring at 40 felt less like a life hack and more like a homework problem nobody finished. The psychological whiplash here is real. You go from reading headlines about 30-year-olds sipping coconuts in Portugal to watching your investment account dip and wondering if you miscounted something. Experts like Wade Fowle and William Bernstein have spent careers reminding us that sequence of returns risk, basically bad timing at retirement, can wreck even a mathematically sound plan. But the persistent optimists aren't wrong either, because history keeps rewarding the ones who stayed in. Markets have crashed in 1987, 2000, 2008, 2020, and every single time, the people who panicked locked in losses while the people who held on eventually looked like geniuses. That's not a coincidence, that's a pattern. And patterns are uncomfortable to ignore even when every crash feels completely unprecedented and uniquely catastrophic. 10-year retirement fits into a very predictable human cycle. We accumulate aggressively, we underestimate spending, we overestimate returns, and then we recalibrate ideally before we run out of runway. The FIRE community has a saying that the first million is the hardest, and honestly, the math backs that up, because compounding gets exponentially more powerful the longer it runs. Now let's kill a misconception before it kills your plan. You do not need to save 100% of your income to retire in 10 years. The 4% rule, where you withdraw 4% of your portfolio annually, means that if you accumulate 25 times your yearly expenses, you are technically financially independent, full stop. So if you spend $40,000 a year, you need $1 million. Not 10 million, not a pension, not a lottery ticket. The misconception that early retirement requires obscene wealth is one of the most expensive lies middle-class savers believe, and it keeps people on a treadmill they could have stepped off years earlier. Here's the actionable part. Maximize your tax-advantage accounts, first 401k, Roth IRA, HSA, if you have access before touching a taxable brokerage. The Roth conversion ladder is one of the most underrated early retirement tools out there, letting you access retirement funds before 59 and a half without the penalty, as long as you plan 5 years ahead. On the withdrawal side, the bucket strategy, keeping 1 to 2 years of expenses in cash, 3 to 5 years in bonds, and the rest in equities gives your portfolio time to recover during downturns without forcing you to sell stocks at the worst moment. Discipline here isn't optional, it's the whole game, because the retiree who panic sells in year 2 is the one who ends up back at a desk by year 3. Position sizing matters just as much as conviction. Don't bet your retirement timeline on a single asset class, a single stock, or a single narrative about where the economy is headed. The people who retired successfully in 10 years weren't smarter than everyone else. They were more consistent, more boring, and more allergic to financial drama than their peers. There's something almost philosophical about the 10-year retirement goal. It forces you to define what enough actually means, which turns out to be the hardest question in personal finance. Most people never ask it, which is why most people keep working long past the point where they financially had to. The irony is that the discipline required to retire in 10 years, living below your means, automating savings, ignoring lifestyle inflation, is also the discipline that makes you pretty good at life in general. It's less about the beach and more about proving to yourself that you are in charge of your time. So here's the truth. Whether you're saving $300 a month or $3,000, the strategy is the same. Be consistent, Be rational, protect the downside, and let compounding do the heavy lifting while you resist the urge to do something dramatic. Comfort with any outcome comes from knowing your plan is sound, your expenses are honest, and your withdrawal strategy is tested, not from hoping the market cooperates. And if you're ready to go beyond the savings account and put your capital to work in something tangible, check the links in the description below where we can help you get started in real estate investing, home contracting work, and finding lenders.